All right. Greetings and peace, everyone. Welcome to the C.R.S.A YouTube channel. I am your host, Neo, and I'm here to share some info with the people. Okay, I am a personal development consultant. What I do is I assist people with starting and along the way with their personal development journey, and I also help them understand and resolve their mental dysfunctions, because a lot of people, especially here in America, has a lot of mental dysfunction going on within their mind, and a lot of people fail to realize it, and also some of them realize it but they fail to actually focus on resolving their mental dysfunction. So they come to me to assist them with that in one way or another, whether it be consultations and or subliminals or anything like that. And I have a personal development course that helps people start their personal development immediately. And it's a full course, and it might take, for some people it's a month, for some people 2 or 3 months, and some people might need even longer than that. And that's why I tell people that as far as pricing, you have to pay for quality rather than paying for worried about low prices. But anyways, I can talk about that another time. What I want to speak to you guys about is the ego and your spiritual path. This is something that I've been wanting to speak about for the past few years, but I never actually got around to it until actually now, where I started to see these new YouTubers who have started to awaken. And I truly appreciate that, and that's good that they're spiritually awakening. But there's one major thing that most people don't understand, and which I did not understand when I first started out in my spiritual journey back in 2012. The start of it is about the ego. First things first is most people do not understand what the ego is and its functions, its main functions that it does, and it causes people to perceive and do. That's what I want to say first and foremost. And then second, they don't understand about how it actually is limiting them within their spiritual journey, whether they realize it or not. So what's going on here is a lot of these new YouTubers, whether it be young or old, they might start their spiritual journey, get a little bit of information, whether it be from YouTube or from a book, and then they automatically think that they are an authority figure for whatever information that they are distributing. And then what goes on is a lot of the people who are still lost, they're seeking out that individual when that individual hasn't even done much work internally and has not truly understood spirituality, all of the basics and more. And people are looking to these individuals as if they're like gods, and they're trying to get information from these individuals. That's why I consistently stress people that you have to be very wise with who you're getting any information from, but especially if it is spiritual information and information about the mind. Those are two situations where and relationships also. I'm going to say relationships also. Those are the top 3 pieces of information that you have to make sure that the person really knows what they're talking about, and they actually have done the work, and they really understand what information that they are sharing. Because there's a lot of people who are sharing information where they really have not fully understood it, and they might have understood it consciously, but they have not understood it subliminally. That is where the true change and the true understanding goes on. Because just reading a book maybe 1 or 2 times, that's not enough for you to truly understand and have it within your overall being as far as the information. That type of transformation comes through a lot of subliminal work and consistent repetition, where you really understand it, you know it, where it's in your deep being. Like a lot of people are talking about this law of attraction for so many years, but and they have had maybe one or two or three experiences, but they think that they can actually be the authority figure as far as teaching people about the law of attraction, when they really haven't understood all of the other facets, the other functions of the law of attraction, including the mind. A lot of people still don't understand the mind. So what I want to tell you this about what's going on is, now the ego, what it is that ego overall is the human aspect of ourselves. Every person that has been born into this realm, into this human experience, has an ego aspect within their own selves. And the ego sometimes can come on and be activated as young as 6 years of age. That all depends on a lot of things. And here in America, there is a lot of egoic activity that activates people's ego, and it inflates their ego, and it keeps their ego active. There's a lot of things like the TV, there's definitely the music, it's the magazines, the movies, and it's a lot of things that's going on that most people do not realize, and they don't know how to protect themselves from their ego being activated and being inflated. And they don't even know how to recognize those negative thoughts that is coming through and making them behave stupidly and immaturely. So that's the human aspect of us, that which in turn is also our conscious mind. One of the main duties of the ego conscious mind is to protect our current programming that we have within our mind and protect the way that our life is currently. Regardless if we perceive our life as a positive way of being or a negative way of being, whether a person perceives themselves as rich, whether a person perceives themselves as poor, it does not matter. The main goal of the ego conscious mind is to keep your reality the way that it is. That is one of the top main goals. And then the other thing, that function that it has, is dealing with anything that is of this human realm. If you are supposed to be on your spiritual path, then you're supposed to be focused more on your spirituality and doing more things that satisfies your spirituality rather than your human self. Your human self really is the enemy to your spirituality, to your overall true self. If you keep feeding into your humanity, as a lot of people are, they're trying to live in two worlds. They're trying to, and which I can understand. I can definitely understand how it's difficult. It's difficult for a lot of people if you don't understand this information first and foremost. If they're trying to feed both the humanity and their spirituality, and you can do it to a certain extent if you truly understand the information and know how to do it, and know how to not allow your ego to override your higher spiritual consciousness. However, most people, they don't know how to do it, and they don't know what's going on, so they're going in it. They have one foot in the spiritual door, and then they have the other foot in the ego door. And for me, looking at a lot of these YouTubers nowadays, I can tell which ones are fully into their spirituality and which ones are still in half and half, and some of them are more into the ego. So the thing is, with a lot of people, especially these young people who come into spirituality, they'll read a few books and then maybe do a little bit of meditation, and then they'll walk there, get on the camera and saying, oh, the universe is this, the universe is that, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I can tell by their tone of voice and their energy how as far as they just came into spirituality, spiritual consciousness, where they're newborns. Right, they're newborns. I can tell when they're newborns, because when I was a newborn back in 2012, and you can go back and look at some of my old videos and listen to my voice, and for the videos that I have actually me on camera, you can see even the body language, and you can hear my voice changes. I'm a lot more relaxed, and I'm focused, and I can communicate straight to the point more now than ever before. rather than before when I was just coming into it. I got caught up in that new age religion. That's what I have to tell you too, you guys, that the new age movement is a new age religion that our world societies that we live in, especially here in America, has created to be a trap, to where it makes people think that it's spirituality. In actuality, it is another form of religion. So instead of saying Jesus, instead of saying Jehovah, instead of saying Allah, instead of saying Buddha, people have transitioned. The new age religion has exchanged that with the universe. So now you have a lot of these YouTubers talking about the universe wants to prosper you. The universe is this and then and this and that. And if you think about it, majority of these people that's talking about the law of attraction and talking about the universe, they are talking about that in terms of your humanity. As I said before, and you have to understand this, and you have to read a lot of these books like the Kabbalah, and I want to go back and read more of that for myself, and the Gnostics. The Gnostics also especially speak about humanity is the enemy, and you see it in these movies. They telling you that humanity is the enemy, but you who watch it, who's watching these things, who have not reached true spiritual consciousness, you don't understand what they truly mean. But as far as the humanity is the virus, that's why, what's his name, in the end game of Avengers Infinity Wars, Thanos actually is the good guy. If you understand true humanity, true spirituality, he is the good guy. When I first saw Infinity War, and I first saw all of the things that Thanos is doing, when I first saw him in the first scene, I had this infinity towards Thanos in the Infinity Wars movie, where I started to really, really like him from the beginning, so much to the point where I wanted him to win, and I really didn't care about the Avengers. Unlike before the Infinity Wars, I was rooting for the Avengers. But now that I understand that humanity really is the enemy, and I need to decrease my feeding of the humanity, now I see that the Avengers, the propaganda, is a propaganda. These Avengers movies is a propaganda to keep people's consciousness in believing, to keep this humanity going, this earth, saving Earth. It's always about, all these superhero movies is always about saving the earth, saving the earth, saving the earth. The earth is this, the saving the earth. But if you really think about it, there's no movie that is really about destroying the earth and being happy about it. And that might sound really, really crazy to a lot of people. They're like, wait a minute, I'm here on planet Earth. I want to still live here. No, your dumb human ego wants to still live here, but not your higher true self once your higher true self has awakened. A lot of people are still spiritually asleep. And there might be some people who do not understand this, and it sounds really, really weird. And if they don't want to listen to this anymore, then those are the ones that are still asleep. Just like those people who watched my video, The World Has Already Ended. The people who do not understand that and they're fearful of it, and they don't want to listen to anything like that again, are usually the people who are still asleep, and they still want to live in this human existence. But the ones who truly have awakened spiritually, they understand that it is okay to make the transition into spirituality, and that losing this humanity is shedding yourself of sin. The humanity is the sin. And I'm telling you that I got to tell you this stuff because this is the difference between true spiritual consciousness versus the new age religion. And a lot of these young people, especially, and people in general that's talking about, oh, the law of attraction, the universe is this, is here to help. These beings are here to help. These beings from other dimensions are here to help humanity, evolve. Whenever you hear people talk about humanity evolving, that is a clear sign, one of the many clear signs that they are in the new age religion trap. Because humanity is not going to reach perfection. It was built off of imperfection, and there's still an imperfect flaw built inside of it. Anything that it was built on a flaw and that still has a flaw is not going to evolve into perfection. The only way that we are going to evolve into higher consciousness is if we focus more on spiritual consciousness, to get out of this cocoon, this human cocoon. We're not supposed to still be here in this human cocoon forever and evolving. And if you're going to evolve, you're going to evolve outside of humanity and humanity consciousness into higher spiritual consciousness, not trying to evolve because you want to get a new car, because you want to get rich, you want to be a celebrity, you want to be a rapper, you want to be a basketball player, football player. All of that stuff is irrelevant. Your spiritual consciousness is relevant more than anything else. That is the reason why me and tons of other people who used to be in music, who used to be in basketball, used to be into football, or whatever else they used to be into, now they can't think about nothing else but spirituality. That is because our higher spiritual self has activated itself and activated our lower self to wake us up and realize, like, yo, look, this is what you're supposed to be focused on. And that's why throughout my YouTube channel here and my personal development YouTube channel at NeoOnenessSubliminals, I only speak about things that are usually outside of humanity stuff. Some stuff, well, actually, no, I do have some humanity stuff, because you still have to deal with humanity to a certain extent, but it's like you don't be obsessed with it. You have to avoid being obsessed with it. So that's why I tell people that you can't get caught up in learning about the law of attraction and thinking that that's the end all be all, to where the point where, if you really look at it, a lot of people here on YouTube that talk about the law of attraction, it's pretty much a law of attraction religion. Anything where it's people are obsessed with it and it bathes all of their consciousness, all of their being, all day, every day, it's pretty much a religion. Law of attraction is a religion. This new age stuff is a religion. Veganism is a religion now. You got the fitness religion, where where the people are obsessed with keeping their body into great shape as if it's a divine being. No, your human body is just the spaceship, the space suit for here on this planet Earth. You're not supposed to be caught up in your space suit trying to keep it in perfect shape. Yes, you want to keep it in good shape to be able to do your daily task, and also so you can still focus on your spirituality, because you don't want to be sick all the time or be in a hospital like a lot of people who did not take care of their body. So you do want to keep it in a fair amount of conditioning. However, is not to be obsessed with to where it takes away from your higher spiritual consciousness. And that's what a lot of these so-called fitness gurus that you see on TV and on YouTube, they get people trapped into it, and they themselves get trapped into keeping the body into great shape, to where you speak to them about spiritual consciousness, they're like, huh? They lost. And that's how you know that they're still spiritually asleep. So you have to keep a fair balance and know how and when to get in and out of your ego humanity and go into your higher spiritual consciousness. So I wanted to go ahead and explain that, and explain to you guys that you have to be very, very cautious with who you're following and listening to and asking questions as far as this spirituality type of stuff, relationships, and anything that's of a higher knowledge in particular, but especially the spirituality. And you have to really confirm that they really have reached an advanced level. Those people who are still new to it, you have to figure out times and ways to identify when they're still new to it. And those are the ones you really don't want to ask questions that you need to know as far as on your spiritual journey, because a lot of them may think they know, but they have not reached the level forward in advance to really give you the true answer coming from their higher spiritual consciousness rather than their ego. Because if a person does not understand this type of information, they would actually get information from their ego rather than their higher spiritual self. See, that's another thing that you have to really understand. And I had to learn that throughout my spiritual journey. And I've been able to learn the difference within myself and also when watching other people's YouTube channels. And I know which ones to not focus on as far as these people that speaking spiritual stuff, which ones not to focus too hard on, because there's still some people who are new to this spiritual consciousness that does provide vital and truthful information. However, you have to know the difference and you have to utilize your intuition, because some people are still rookies into this. They're still rookies. Me, I'm not a rookie into this. I'm like, let's see, I started in 2012. 2012, that's what? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 8 years in this. If you was considering this in football and basketball years, an eight-year vet, that's a veteran. That's a veteran. Not saying that my information is the end all be all, because my information is just a piece of information that you can take for yourself, analyze it, and consider where you can put it within your life. At the same time, still incorporate other people's information and yourself, your own information that comes from your own meditations and your own realizations. So don't follow me as if I'm your guru, because I'm not. You are your own guru. That's what I'm telling you. And I want you to know that for throughout your life, and especially throughout your experience on YouTube. You have to realize you are your own guru. You can get some information from other people, and that will help you realize new things. However, do not follow these people as if they are your gods, because you are your own God. God is within you. You are connected to God. If you want truthful information about yourself and your spirituality, then you go within yourself, not by following these people on YouTube, because I'm telling you, a lot of these people will misguide you, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally, because they have not reached the adequate level of spirituality. So that's that. I wanted to let you guys know that. If you want to email me as far as personal development stuff, you can email me at NeoOnenessSubliminals@gmail.com. If you want to talk to me about relationship stuff, you can email me at CommittedRelationships@gmail.com. If you have spirituality information that you want to talk about, you can email me at NeoOneness@gmail.com. All of that will be in the description, and you can check out my websites. And you can check out my subliminal messaging tools to help transform your mind to a new programming, to help you have a new behavior, new perceptions of life, and to overall improve yourself as an overall being, and actually help you reach a higher spiritual consciousness so you can be focused more on your spirituality rather than your human self. And you got to definitely get started on that too, if you are resonating with this video and if you have reached the end of this video right here. All right, thank you very much. Please definitely like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, thank you.